So really, how good are you at diagnosing any malfunctions that may happen with your AR15 platform? We're about to find out. What's going on, guys? G2 here. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you have been with us for the last 8 years, welcome back. And we are going to do a different kind of video today. This is almost going to be a case study on AR15 malfunctions based on your comments. I get probably close to 500 to 600 comments a week, and more than half of them are about diagnosing AR malfunctions. Specifically, you asking me and the community to figure out what's going on with your firearm based on your explanation of what you think is happening. So we're going to go over these. I've got 6 examples, and I want to see, and this is a good way for you to figure out, because some of these I don't know. I got to tell you, because I just can't understand the question, and that is a lot of the problem a lot of the time. Let's go through these, put in your head what you think, and then comment. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you think you know what's going on with each one of these, or any of these, or one of these, leave the comment below and help out your fellow viewers and me, because I'm a one-man show running 300 of these a week, and it gets tough. So let's go to the first case study. Hello, sir. I am having an issue with my AR. I did your 1-round mag test and it passed, but if I put more than 1 round in the mag, it won't eject it and tries to feed another one in behind it if I have more than 1 round in the mag. But if I had 1 round in the mag, it shoots and ejects properly. I've been stuck on this for months now and can't seem to get it fixed. Do you have any suggestions? Okay. There's really just one issue going on here, right? It passes the 1-round mag test. When they use more than 1 round in the magazine, it won't eject. I'm assuming that first round. They don't explain that really, but I'm assuming more than 1, the first round shoots and it won't eject, and then it tries to feed the next one behind it. So basically we're getting a double feed malfunction. What would you suggest, or how would you diagnose this issue? You're getting a double feed. Now, we've done a video on how to diagnose and fix double feeds right off the top of my head. Now, remember, when I do these, I don't have 25 minutes to sit here and diagnose every single thing, so I've got to go quick. Otherwise, I will be answering comments for the next 15 years and never get caught up. So, a double feed, right? First thing, mag issue, right? You could have an issue with the follower of the magazine, with the spring in the magazine. It could be weak, it could be too strong. So first thing I would always say on double feeds, go to the magazine. Once you've eliminated that and used multiple magazines, which I always suggest that you do, you got to go into the cycling system. So a double feed means that the round is going into the chamber, it's firing, the projectile is gone, the casing remains in the chamber, comes out, does not eject, right? It stays in there, so there's something. Let's start there. The bolt ejector, an extractor, are they in good working condition? Check the round, right? We talk about this all the time. Look on the back of the cartridge on that little rim and see, is it ripped off? If it's ripped off, it means there's something going on with your extractor and it's not pulling the round out. If it's ripped, that also means that you could have a fast cycling time. So remember, when a round goes into the chamber, bolt locks behind it, fires, round goes, cartridge remains in there. That cartridge expands inside the throat of the chamber, and what that does is it allows a nice seal so you don't get a blast of gas in your face. And then as that cartridge starts to shrink back to normal, then it's pulled out. So if you try to pull it out when it's expanded, it ain't going anywhere and it's going to be stuck in the the chamber of the barrel. So I would start with the magazine and then go to cycle time to see if you're feeding too quickly or you're feeding too slowly. Okay. Second case study. This one is, one, terrifying because of what it may be saying, and two, I have no idea what it's saying. It could be horrible and it could not be. So, failure to fire, can't put on safety, and can't tear down. Help, Ruger AR556, please DM me. I can't make it a safe weapon with one, I think that's in the chamber, and no safety. Okay, so this sounds to me like he has charged the weapon, active cartridge in the chamber, pull the trigger, does not fire, and then they also can't take it down. So, and you can't make it safe. There's a lot to unpack right here, because I have no idea how this could be happening. So, all right, let's work backwards. So you can't make it safe. So if you can't make it safe, it means that the bolt is not fully fitted into the chamber and locked, right? Because we know that in AR system, you can't put it on safety unless the trigger is fully engaged, right? So you have to be able to charge it back and let it go, then it should be able to engage safety. So that means that if you can't engage the safety, either the safety spring, safety detent, safety pin is broken, or it's not engaging the fire control unit that would not allow you to put it on safe, or you're not physically engaging the trigger and the trigger is inert, essentially, which means that your bolt is not riding back enough to engage the trigger. Okay, so that could be the first thing, the safety, and then failure to fire. So if you can't fire the gun, the trigger is not engaged, which means the live round is still in the chamber. But then again, you can't tear down the gun, according to this person. As an example, let's try this. Okay, so there's nothing in here. This is completely empty. So we have the gun, right? Go to load the magazine. Okay, it's in there. So this should be the position that this firearm is in, right? It's in the fire position. Bolt is forward. Round is in the chamber. You go to pull the trigger. Now mine will shoot because it works, but it doesn't fire. Or maybe he did pull the trigger and he just has a dud round. I don't know. Again, this is not enough information. So we can't put it on safety, which you can, right? The only time that you can't put a gun on safety is after you shoot it. After you engage the trigger. The trigger will only, the AR-15 will only allow you to put it on safety once that trigger is engaged, right? So unengaged, can't put it on safety. Doesn't work. Engaged, can put it on safety. So maybe on that we can assume that the trigger has shot and we just have a dud round. I don't know. There's so much going on here. And the other thing, he said he can't open up can't break it down. So if this is engaged in the fire position, luckily this is a safe weapon, you can take this apart still. There's nothing that's stopping you from being able to take this thing apart. Right? So this one is one with a lot to unpack. I would love to hear your guys' comments on this one because I have absolutely no idea what in the living hell is going on with this thing. So let's move on to number 3. I'm having an issue where it will grab the round and try to eject it, but it will hold on to it after it's fired. So grab the round, try to eject it, but we'll hold on to it after it's fired, only it'll stay connected to the whole carrier group. On fire rounds, will eject just fine. I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea what this subscriber is trying to say here. He's saying it holds on to the round. It won't eject it after it's fired. It'll stay connected to the bolt carrier group. On fire rounds, it will eject just fine. So which one is it? I don't know. If we ignore the part that it ejects just fine, it means that there's probably something wrong with the ejector extractor on the bolt carrier group because it's not firing the casing out. I would just go with that. The fact that it fires okay and ejects just fine on fire rounds, I mean, maybe he has dragon's breath for AR-15. I'm not sure. But this is one of those where, like, specifics matter, okay? So if you have any idea what the hell's going on here, let me know. Comment on case study 3. Okay, case study 4. I need help. I have an issue. My round won't eject from the slide. I shot twice, and the round is still in the chamber. Well, Houston, we have a problem. Apparently, he has the fancy new AR-15 cartridges, which have 2 rounds in 1 cartridge, which allows you to shot twice. Or he's saying, yeah, I don't know. A round won't eject from the slide. Okay, first off, a round is, and I think this is one of the other biggest issues that I find, is people not understanding the terminology appropriately, okay? This is not a round. This is not a bullet. This is a cartridge, okay? A cartridge contains a projectile, or the bullet, a casing, brass, whatever it is, gunpowder inside of the casing, and a primer in the back of the cartridge. So there are 4 components to what most people refer to as a round or cartridge. So he's saying his round won't eject from the slide. I don't know what a slide is. I shot twice and the round is still in the chamber. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Did he basically have shot one round, went off? This projectile did not exit the barrel. It is still in the barrel. And then he shot another one. And this projectile is still in the barrel behind the first one? That could be a problem, obviously. I don't know how you could shoot twice and the round is still in the chamber. It's, again, I have no idea. This is a very, very vague comment, but could be a very, very dangerous issue. I asked for explanation and I didn't get it, so I don't know. Okay, so we're going to go to number 5. This is actually a really good one in terms of the comment being specific, and it was a very, very easy answer, and I think you guys who watch the channel will pretty much understand exactly what is going on with this. Just bought a new AR at Bass Pro. First clue. Took it to the range the next day and shot about 16 rounds through it. Clue number 2. After every shot, the casing would not eject automatically. Using the correct terminology, the casing would not eject. I would either have to pull back the charging handle over and over, so basically making it a single shot AR, or take out the mag and then do it because the charging handle was completely stuck. So it sounds like the bolt was sticking, if I'm being honest. Thinking about taking it back, but also really like it and don't want to. Any tips? I'm thinking about lubing it up and giving it a good clean first. So what do you guys think? I think he answered his own question in the last statement. Lubing it up and giving it a good clean first. Clue number 1, bought a new AR. Clue number 2, I have 16 rounds through it. So this gun is as fresh and new as it could possibly be. Came from the store, probably didn't break it down, probably didn't clean it up, definitely didn't lubricate it enough. So it's very, very possible that all those parts, especially the charging handle, the bolt running into the buffer tube, you have all these new metals and different metals interacting with each other. One of the biggest things, and I've said this, I've done multiple videos on this, don't try to diagnose an issue until you have at least 500 rounds through your rifle and you are constantly cleaning it and lubricating it during that break-in process. So I think a little bit of that will fix all of these issues. If it continues to happen, then yes, then we'll start to diagnose. But first things first, clean it, lubricate it, break it in. All right, number 6. We got one more after this. What if it locks back with an open bolt, but when you shoot a live round, it doesn't prime the trigger? I've got an issue where it chambers the next round, but then has a head trigger with subsonic rounds. Okay. I'm already confused. I'm still confused. This comment is 2 months old, and I still have yet to get any clarification on what the hell this is talking about. So, open bolt. What if it locks back with an open bolt when you shoot a live round? Okay, so we've done that. It locks back. We are assuming if it locked back with an open bolt after firing a round, then that means you had one round in the magazine and now it is empty and the bolt has locked back. Correct? I think we all can agree on that, because the AR will not lock back if there are still rounds in the magazine. If it does, it means that your magazine is not far enough into the magazine well to engage that little lever that holds this thing to keep the bolt cycling, right? So once the last round comes out of the magazine, that little lever will catch and lock the bolt back. Okay? Part of the design. I've got an issue where it chambers the next round, but then has a head trigger with subsonic rounds. Okay, so let's go back to the first part. Open bolt, shoot a live round, here's where we are. But it doesn't prime the trigger. I'm not sure how that's possible. I'm not sure how the bolt can come back to this position and not reset. There's not a prime. You don't prime a trigger. This is not fucking Autobots assemble. So there's no way that you have an issue with everything going on in here. Your trigger is jacked up. Your springs are messed up. Something is not engaging with the bolt is wrong. I mean, there's so many things that can go when a bolt comes back and it doesn't engage the trigger. Again, there's a lot here to unpack, and I have no idea. Like, then has a head trigger with subsonic rounds. I'm sure that's a typo. I just have no idea what they were trying to say. Again, extremely vague, wrong terminology, and not enough information. So I can't do anything with this. So then the last one here, number 7. I bought a Radical Arms AR15. Brought to shoot it today. Will not shoot any rounds. Not leaving any mark from the firing pin at all. Am I missing something? Okay, so I think this is probably the easiest of all of these. if I'm being honest. So, brand new gun. Well, we don't know. We don't know if it's a brand new gun. All we know is it's new to him. I bought a Radical Arms AR-15. I went to shoot it. Won't shoot anything. It's not leaving any marks from the firing pin. Okay. First thing, what would you guys tell this person? I know what I would say. Are you sure there's a firing pin? Right? A lot of these guns that you will buy, not only in stores, but in gun shows, they take the firing pin out of the guns for obvious reasons. You don't want some crazy maniac rolling in there with a magazine, and then they give you the gun to test it out and you start firing away, right? So most of them will use a preventative measure by not putting a firing pin into the rifle, or they will use a firing pin, an inert firing pin. So just enough so that you can still test out the action of the trigger, and the trigger won't be smacking up against something it's not supposed to, or the hammer won't be smacking up against something it's not supposed to. It will still have that firing pin. It just won't be long enough to hit the primer. That's where I'm starting. It's not leaving any mark. It's not firing. There's a firing pin issue, and it's probably because it is an inert firing pin. So, yeah. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that. I want to hear your comments. So 7 case studies down here. 3 of them I'm totally just no idea what's going on. I'd love to hear how you guys think, what you guys think, and maybe you'll be able to help out some of your peers here on some of the issues that they're having. But moral of the story, when you're going to send a comment about an issue, let's use the right terminology. If you don't know what it is, then you do what everyone who learned about guns has done. You go and you research. Okay? Educate yourself so that you can speak intelligently and effectively on what's going on. It's all you have to do is, if you have a problem with your Google parts of an AR-15 bullet, and it'll tell you exactly projectile, casing, primer, gunpowder, etc., etc. Learn the parts. That's how I started. When I first started really getting into guns about 20 years ago, we didn't really have as good internet stuff as we have now, so I would go and get instruction manuals and all of that stuff and learn. If you're gonna operate and own firearms, educate yourself appropriately and correctly so that you can operate them safely. And then you're going to make everyone else's job easier when you have an issue, because you're going to be talking the same language. Needless to say, keep the comments coming. The ones that I can understand and help you with, I absolutely will. If you don't give me the information and I end up with a lot of this stuff like we saw here, I'm probably going to follow up, and I'm a one-person show. So when you're at the top of the queue, if I have to ask you a question, you go back down to the bottom of the queue, and those 300 other people just jumped in front of you. So make the best time of your comments, and I look forward to helping you guys out, or answering any questions, or maybe finding out what's going on with here. So until next time, make sure that you're practicing safe weapons handling at all times and treating every weapon as if it was loaded. God bless America. G2 out.